Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be trying some new drugstore makeup. I'm very excited about this because let me tell you, we have some home runs in this batch. Also a few kind of fell flat for me. So keep watching if you want to see what I think is worth it and not in the drugstore. Diet Coke. Now, all right, so let's get into it. My skin is prepped, moisturized, slapped some vanity cream on there. I'm ready for foundation. So foundation, I got the Maybelline Superstay 30 Hour Lumi Matte Foundation, and I am the shade 220. This is going to be a good match for me because I already have another Maybelline Superstay foundation. I have their 24 Hour Skin Tint in the same shade, 220, but I wasn't positive that the colors would necessarily be the same. I thought they would be because they're both the same brand, the same line, the Superstay line, but sometimes that's not always the case. You can't always just assume that the shade number is going to be consistent across different products, even within the same brand. So kind of held my breath because the pictures online made this look really, really light for me, but it's the exact same shade. So consistency is appreciated there, Maybelline. So I am going to also try to use only drugstore tools and other products as I try these, just to keep it consistent, just keep it on theme here. So I'm gonna give this a good shake. I want everything to be well incorporated. And then I'm gonna try a couple pumps. This is brand new, I've never tried this. On my Real Techniques foundation brush. Yes, that is a good match. It's the same color as my 24 Hour Skin Tint. Okay, so right away, beautiful, beautiful coverage, nice finish. Ooh, so you can see this is one side with one pass, other side, obviously have my hyperpigmentation here. We will see if one pump of this can cover that. I'm gonna put the excess up here. Okay. Ooh, I love the finish on this. It's soft, like it's not too sticky feeling or heavy or like glistening, make you look sweaty. Okay, so you can still see a little bit of that redness peeking through, but I think if I blended it really well and went through another pass of foundation, I can definitely build that up. Okay, so far, really nice. I'm liking it. It did a good job of covering my dark spots. I can still see a little bit of my more red spots peeking through, so I'm gonna just try to build it up right in that spot and see if I can. Okay, yeah. So you just go in with a little more product on your problem areas and no problem. Okay, so buildable, but quite full coverage to begin with. All right, so foundation is done. I love it. I think it's beautiful, not greasy or oily. I don't really want to be blotting and touching up throughout the day too much. So not a problem with this foundation. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of my Fit Me concealer. All right. So as I'm setting my concealer and foundation with some Fit Me powder, I'm noticing that The shade, like I said, is exactly the same as their other Superstay line. So it's nothing I'm not used to seeing on my face. In fact, I love it. All right, so it's time for some blush, and the Drugstore has so many pretty blushes right now. I feel like blush is one of those things that you don't really need to spend a lot of money on to get a really similar finish as a high-end product. Lots of beautiful Drugstore blushes out there. I grabbed one of the new CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancers, and I got the shade Sweet Violet because I think I want to do kind of more of a lavender cheek today. I have a NYX blush that I'm going to top it with, and I think they're going to go really nicely together. I have not tried something from CoverGirl in a long time, like probably years. But this and another product that we're gonna try has caught my eye today. We'll see how it blends. It's got this ball on the top, like a dome-shaped top to it, and then a twistable little component here. I'm always kind of hesitant when it comes to these stick blushes because if they're not really creamy and easy to blend, it can kind of move the foundation and the concealer that I just put on, and we don't want that. So I'm nervous to kind of swipe it on my cheek, but I feel like I have to try. Maybe I'm gonna do one side with a swipe and the other side going in with a brush to see if there's any difference, if it's necessary or not. Let's see here. So on one side, let's just go straight in, okay? Okay, I don't know how much I'm gonna need, so we are going to blend this. This is the e.l.f. airbrush blender. These e.l.f. brushes that have the clear handle are so good. I love the quality. It feels like a high-end brush. It has a little weight to it, and the bristles are really soft. So if you are in the market for some really high-quality drugstore brushes, these e.l.f. clear handle ones, highly recommend. Okay, so we're gonna blend that. I don't see, yeah, I think it moved the foundation because I can kind of see some of that pigmentation from my skin peeking through. I don't want that. Ugh. Okay, pretty color, and it's not like it's not blendable, but sometimes if it's not just buttery smooth and you have to move that brush with a little more pressure, it's gonna move the foundation, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go in with my brush here and see, and this side of my face has more discoloration than this side, so we're really gonna be able to see it if it doesn't help. Ooh, definitely pigmented. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way up into our hairline here. Pretty color. Okay. I mean, you can see the difference in the pigment. I put a lot on my brush, but I'm gonna use the excess on here just to kind of even it out. It's a really pretty color. I love it. I've been wanting to try like a purpley lavender blush. Ugh. It's just that you can totally see all of my, I don't think that helped. All right, so I don't know if that really made a difference using the brush versus applying it. I did get a lot more product out, so that helped distribute the color. And it's a really beautiful color, a beautiful like satiny finish that goes really well with the foundation. But you can see now that pigmentation kind of coming through, which is not ideal, but we can work with that. I think that's just kind of the nature of these stick blushes. I haven't found one that this does not happen with. I've tried a few. I have one in the mail coming soon, so we'll review that one when it gets here and see if it's a little more blendable. And it's not that this is not soft or blendable, it's just if you have a stick product, it's gonna be a little less creamy than a liquid. So not unexpected. And I'm staying with the CoverGirl True Blend line. I'm gonna go in with their True Blend Skin Enhancer Contour Balm in the shade Sculpted. I'm excited about this one because I usually use the Too Faced stick. And now when I talk about sticks being a little bit harder to blend, the Too Faced sculpting stick is like melted butter on your skin. It is so creamy. It is so nice. So this one going on, let me see if it's even can hold a candle to Too Faced. It's definitely going on easily, so no problem applying it. I would say the consistency is very similar to the blush. We're gonna just do our normal routine here. Use a little more than I typically do because it's a smaller surface. So we just went right in with the stick on the face. I don't want to go in with my brush on the bronzer stick. I just feel like you're gonna get a really uneven application when you have such a small surface and trying to distribute it on your brush. But I'm going to blend that. Let's blend it out and see if this is a little bit more forgiving than the blush. Okay, so honestly, maybe the shade for me is kind of light and I should have gone up. This is the second, they only had 4 shades that I saw, and this is the second lightest, which is typically what I grab when it comes to bronzers. But this is kind of disappearing on my face. And it's definitely blending easily. That's not a problem. Almost too well because it's not giving too much of anything. I feel like I see a little bit of bronze, but I don't know. Maybe I need to try to put it on my brush after all. Okay, let's try it. It's just the color, I think, for me, and that's like, oh my gosh, it's just like blending right into my skin. Okay, we're gonna take this sponge and just buff that out. We don't have any muddy lines. I fear this shade is not going to work for me as a bronzer. I don't know. I don't know if it's the shade or if it's just the formula, but I'm not getting much out of this, unfortunately. So we're going to rely on our NYX bronzer. I'm gonna try to top that off and see if I can bring some more warmth to my skin. Okay, you see the difference? Now that is a bronzer. There we go. We're coming alive. I'm just gonna take the same NYX bronzer and go in to my crease with a little bit of it. This is a Morphe M441 brush. All right, so bronzer's on. I've got the stick blush on, and I'm gonna top it with the NYX blush in my Butter Half. It's a cool pink. Just gonna top it off. And the only thing I have, remember, on my eyelids right now is a little bit of that NYX bronzer. So I'm gonna use this e.l.f. Finest Flat Glitter Eyeshadow. Okay, so the top says it's a glitter eyeshadow, and then underneath it says sheer glitter eyeshadow topper. So which is it? Let's find out. It can't be both, can it? Super cute little package. Look how cute. It reminds me of my daughter's like Mini Brands toys. Looks like a toy. It's so cute. So I'm just gonna swatch it first to see what I'm working with. Do we have an eyeshadow or a topper? Oh, that's a topper. Yeah, I am going in, and it's not giving too much. So I want to use it as it's intended to be used, which is a topper. So I need to find a little shadow to put underneath. I'm gonna put some of this brown color from the Milani Gilded Champagne palette, just a little bit on my lid. We're gonna build some color here so that we can use that topper as intended. Now it's kind of it is a champagne. That's the color is Champagne Showers. All right, so I have a little bit of color on my lid now, and I'm gonna go in with a flat Morphe brush on this topper and just kind of push some of the pigment. I think I'm gonna need quite a bit to get it to show, and then I'm going to wet it with some Milani Make It Last. So I have it packed and moistened, and I'm going to pack it on my lid. Okay. Oh, after I wet it, it's actually pretty pigmented. It wasn't showing up dry, but just a little spray on it. Ooh, pretty. I like it. I'm gonna take that same Morphe brush and just blend whatever's left into the crease. Honestly, I really like that. A little chunky in the crease, but if you blend it with some matte, it's gonna look really pretty. Oh yeah, I like it. So this is actually quite nice. Maybe it is both a topper and a shadow. Maybe they were right. Okay, Elf. Because if you use it dry, I think you're gonna get, let's do that. Let's use it dry. Let's use it dry on the other side and compare, and then I can add the wet shadow on top. So I wet my brush with setting spray and got it to look more of a pigmented finish. So this is, let me try it with a bigger brush. This is without that setting spray, just dry. Okay, you can see the difference. Wet, dry. Yeah, it's definitely packs more of a punch when you wet it, as do any shadows. But this is so cute. You can like throw this in your bag for traveling. How easy would that be? And just, I mean, you're gonna have setting spray with you probably anyways, so it's not like you're bringing anything extra. And just give it a little spritz. Yeah, I like it. I probably wouldn't use it dry myself, but I like it. And honestly, I usually wet most of my shimmery shadows anyways, regardless of the brand or what they're marketed as. I think pretty much any shimmer is gonna look better when you spray it. Ooh, I like it. Dare I say love it. They called you a topper, but I knew you had more potential. All right, I'm just gonna do some shadow liner with the darkest shade in the Milani palette, and then I get to use the product that I am probably most excited about. I really hope it doesn't disappoint me. I don't think it will, but we'll see. Next, I'm going to try the Maybelline Super Fluff Brow Mousse in the shade Deep Brown. Good sized little brush. Okay. Might be a little bit dark for me. It's not giving much hold, it's really just giving pigment underneath the hairs. So you would probably do well to use a brow gel over this or in combo with this. if you really want to lock them into place. Okay, so I was hopeful that this would be a possible alternative for my beloved L'Oreal Brow Boost and Set, but I just don't think it's going to be. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that hold that this one does. This one's getting kind of hard to find, so I was hoping that this would be a good alternative, but I'm gonna have to ride with L'Oreal on this one. And I grabbed a new telescopic mascara. I'm gonna throw some lashes on. The last thing I'm gonna do is my lips. I'm gonna use this Maybelline lip liner. It's the Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in the shade 105 Nude Whisper. I have another one of these in the shade Totally Toffee that I love, but I wanted to try a new shade today. And this is really pretty. Oh, I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna go on top of that with this NYX Fat Oil Stick Click Shiny Lip Balm in the shade Hits Different. I thought this was gonna be a little more pink. It's quite brown. This is one of those clicky pens, very similar to my Tarte one that I love. So maybe this will be a dupe. We'll see. I've tried some other similar packaging products and I always go back to Tarte. Clicking away. Okay, let's try this. Nice and smooth. It does look pretty brown, but it goes on quite sheer, so I actually really like it. I think it looks pretty. All right, this is the final look. It's kind of a sleigh, if I do say so myself. We have some hits on our hands for sure. Now, I think I was a little harsh, a little skeptical, if you will, of the blush stick from CoverGirl. Seeing it all put together, especially paired with the NYX blush, it's so pretty. I am wearing this for sure. Again, the same combo, and then with the little highlight on top. I mean, so cute, so pretty. And I think the foundation is what kind of just pulled it all together. I like this satiny finish. It's luminous, but it's full coverage. I think this is gonna be a go-to travel foundation for me. I don't like to travel with my high-end foundations because it scares me, but this is coming with me on my next trip. 10 out of 10. Now, unfortunately, the contour counterpart of the blush stick, the CoverGirl True Blend Skin Enhancer, it did not hit for me. Now, I don't know if it was a formula issue for me or if it was just maybe I got too light of a shade to really pop on my skin, which is a little odd because I pretty much always am the almost, not the lightest, but the middle shade. So that's what this is, and it just didn't really show up on my skin. It didn't look bad, but that's good because it's not muddy, but it also just didn't really provide the color that I wanted it to, or that I would typically get from a bronzer. So luckily the NYX one came in and gave me some color, but I think I'm gonna grab the next darkest shade in this and we will try that again soon. To be continued. So the next product that was kind of just okay for me was the Maybelline Super Fluff Brow Mousse. She's still #1 in my heart. Now this little guy was kind of surprisingly good. The more I wear it on my lid, the more I like it. When I swatched it just on my hand, it's not, I mean, honestly, it's not doing much. But when I pack it onto the brush and put some of that setting spray, it is there. It is really pretty. Now the NYX Slick Click Fat Oil, wasn't expecting too much from this just because typically this kind of balm formula is not meant to be like a long-lasting pigment, but it's supposed to be just a touch-up, one and done type of product, which I love. I'm a huge fan of the Tarte Juicy Lip. and I was kind of hoping this could be a dupe. It is very similar. I like it. Definitely gonna get more colors. Very pretty. I will say, I think the Tarte ones have a little bit more color to them, but this is a great alternative, and I'm definitely going to grab more of those. 10 out of 10 for this foundation. We will see how it wears throughout the day. It does say it's 30-hour wear, which is kind of funny because I don't know what situation you would need to wear a foundation for 30 hours. Sleep in it, I guess, but I will not be sleeping in it. It really only needs to last me the day. So if it can do that, it's a hit for me. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe and let me know if you tried out any of the products that I used today and how they worked for you, or if you have any other drugstore products that you think are worth giving a shot. Let me know. I would love to try them.